Hello, everybody, and welcome to our January 6th Louisiana Association of School Librarians third town hall. This is the third one we've had this year. Um, we would like to let you know that if you would like to access this slide deck, it is in the YouTube description, or you can scan the QR code. We'll put it back up there in a minute. We'll put the bit.ly back up there in a minute. But we are the executive board. And Lovey, you want to start with you since you're at the top?
Mm-hmm.
I'm Lovey Howe. I am the LASL acting president for this year.
My name is Amanda Jones. I am the first vice president, chair. So I don't know. It's like a long title. I'll just say vice president. That's me. Now going to Tammy.
This is Tammy Chafin. I'm the second vice president.
And I'm Tiffany Whitehead, LASL past president and currently the parliamentarian.
And two of our members could not be here tonight, but they have included some things in the slide deck. So what we did was, I guess back in August, September, I've lost all track of time and space, but we put out a survey and we emailed it to as many school librarians as we could find emails for. I think we made sure to email it to all of the LASL members. And I do believe we also emailed it. We posted it on Facebook and Twitter, and we had several responses. So what we were going to do tonight is just kind of go through some of these results. And if anyone is watching and you would like to make comments or suggestions on ways we can address this, just let us know. We're just going to go through and talk about these. Oh, that's pretty music.
Sorry.
And Tiffany, what was that good thing you said earlier that we were going to say? I forgot.
So starting this off, we did this survey back in end of summer, beginning of the school year. We really wanted to hear from Louisiana school librarians and see what it is that we can do as a board to best serve all of you. And so with that in mind, we really looked at these results immediately. And we've already been shaping our activities this year around what we've seen. We know that there's still more to do, and we love to hear feedback from other folks about what we can do better. But I think kind of the way that we set ourselves up this year with all of the virtual events that we've been doing, with kind of boosting our social media presence, and also with our plans on the board for our upcoming April in-person professional development, we're trying to hear what folks say they need. And think of all of the ways that we can really meet those needs. So this year, we've really tried to shape our plans around the results of this survey.
And Tiffany's been she's been putting together our newsletter every month, and it's addressing some of the concerns in the survey. And we've also been trying to streamline our website and include as much professional development and notices and things as possible. So we hope you will check out our website, whether you're a member or not. If you're a school librarian, in Louisiana or anywhere, and if something's helpful on our website, we hope that you will take advantage of that and use it. So we had 292 responses to our survey, and you can see right here, 41.4% are brand new, or I would say fairly new librarians with 0 to 5 years of experience. There's only 11.3 with 20 plus years, and then it kind of goes. So you can see the yellow, orange, and blue combined are 0 to 15 years. So that kind of lets you know a little bit of background of who responded. And as far as membership goes, we had 25% of the 292 responses were members. The yellow represents non-members who are interested. You're not a member, but you're interested. So we hope that maybe you will be interested in joining our association after you've been viewing some of our webinars and things. Did anybody have anything? Am I ready to move on, or did anyone want to say anything else about this?
No, I think I think one of the, I think this graph shows us that there's a reason that some librarians in Louisiana felt like it wasn't worth them to join LASL. And I'd really love to hear more about why that is. Is it, maybe we can even do a survey just for that. Like, is it the cost? Is it that you feel like the cost wasn't worth, what you were getting back? would you rather, like we're doing the PD in Baton Rouge, just some more information on that, because I know how much I value being a member of a professional organization. And so I would love to hear more about why there's so many that want to be connected, but not necessarily through the professional organization.
Now, in the survey, we asked, what is your greatest need as a school librarian? And so we're not going to read every single one of these, but we will put them on screen. And it might be a little small on your screen. So I will read a few of these out loud, but support was a big one. Support. And so we have been talking about ways to support you. I know that like we said, with the newsletter and the website and the PDs, professional development was listed several times. A lot of people said any kind of professional development would be helpful. That's true. So if you'll follow us on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, and look at our website, we are offering several upcoming webinars, and we are going to continue with the 5-minute tips. Lovey and I are going to be recording very soon 3 more of the 5-minute tips, and that's going to be on graphic novels, grants, and building a PLN. And then we're going to have a huge, or not a huge, but a much longer webinar with school 2021 Library Journal mover and shaker Dustin Hensley, and he's going to be talking on January 16th or 19th. I'll show it up on the slide in a minute. And one of his former students is going to attend, and they're going to talk about building relationships in the school libraries. And then I was asked by Steve Tetro of New Jersey Association of School Librarians. He wanted to do a joint webinar with LASL, and then we asked Wendy Prey from Texas, so we're going to be doing one on literacy shaming in February. So all of these webinars and PDs that we offer, we are offering free, whether you're a member or not, to try to help out with some of this. Like people said they wanted professional development. If there's something specific that you need that was not one of the answers on the survey, just email us and we can add that to our list of things that we want to talk about. And provide help. Do y'all want to talk about any of these?
Yeah, I think this is really great. And I think what I really love is, I feel like we're putting out a ton of new content, and you guys are working really hard on that, and it shows. I also love that we are kind of being a platform, whether it's in our newsletter or in social media, sharing other professional development resources. What's so great is that there's so much free content out there, and so much of it is in person or live. You can tune in at that time, but you can also, like you can with all of our webinars, go back and watch them afterwards. And so we know everyone's busy, and there's never a time that's going to work best for everyone. And so I think that's what really makes kind of the sweet spot of all of this virtual professional development, is that you can go back and watch it later. So if you go on Amanda's YouTube channel, you can see all of the different things that LASL has put out there in the past year. And so we're going to keep doing that, which is great.
Well, and I think with the graph showed, with so many new people entering the profession, even some of us that have been around, it's a changing profession also. And so all of these things, and you may not think of anything, right now that you have encountered until you encounter, like maybe the book order. Oh, where do I get those resources? And so, yeah, some of those webinars are fabulous, even for those of us who have done it in the past couple of years. It's still nice to have some validation and to have some additional resources that maybe you haven't even become aware of yet.
And there's 2 things I wanted to mention before I move on from this slide. I wanted to tell y'all, because I forgot to tell you, somebody from Georgia actually contacted me and commended us on our social media posts on Facebook and Twitter. Somebody from the Georgia Media Library Association messaged me and was like, y'all have been putting some great content out. So I was like, yay. So like Georgia noticed. So that was exciting. I forgot to tell y'all. But something else I noticed on the bottom of this slide, it said, keep libraries and librarians in every single district rally support, and that we really need support for librarians. And we've mentioned it before, But I did want to mention before I forget that Lovey and I actually meet with Allison St. Germain at the Louisiana Department of Education. We meet every 2 weeks. And I've been in talks with M. Cooper at LDOE, and Lovey's been in talk with some other people. And if you haven't noticed, take a look at the teacher leader newsletter from Louisiana. They have made a space for school librarians now. And so we put something, it's in every teacher leader newsletter. You can sign up for that. And also they have promised us that at the Teacher Leader Summit this coming summer in New Orleans, that there is going to be a whole track of sessions for school librarians. So if you can make that, now might be the time to make the case with your principal. Because I know some schools, like our school, gets title whatever money to send so many people. So I already went in and said, I want to be one of those people that goes to Teacher Leader Summit. So maybe now's the time to talk about that with your principals or whoever lets you go on your PDs.
I don't know if we've gotten to the slide that talks about one of the biggest things I saw too on here was, and I know for me as a brand new librarian, I was not trained on Destiny. And so that was a comment a whole lot on here. So maybe we could do a few of those tips as well. Cause I know like, I think it was Tammy that said it. Sometimes you don't know until you're faced with it. And like inventory or whatever, cataloging books. I know I had somebody call me just in tears because they just didn't even know where to start, and just looking in a Destiny catalog. I mean, the little book that I have for Destiny, it sure doesn't walk you through that stuff, downloading mark records, all that stuff. So that is something that I noticed that a lot of people said that they could use support on. So we'll jot that down too, and maybe do, I know everybody kind of has tips and tricks, I believe, on what they've done. So, and if anybody out there wants to lend some of those tips and tricks, that'd be great. This all doesn't have to come from the executive board. This can come from anybody out there that is, maybe you're great in Destiny. Maybe all the things, all the shortcuts. That'd be so wonderful if you wanted to share that out.
So if you're listening and you're good at that, let us know. Hey, who's really good at that is Laura Foy, school librarian in Denham Springs Junior High. She is so good with Destiny. And she was our 2020 LASL middle junior Modicet winner, or 2021 or 2020. Yeah.
2020. Yes. And see, that's the perfect person. If she's, in just little 5-minute, hey, this is how to do it. Our Screencastifies. I know we've done Screencastifies in our district because we share a Google Drive, librarian school Google Drive. And that's I know for our district, that's one of the things that librarians say they love the most, is being able to just go to that drive and say, okay, I'm trying to do such and such, and they pull that Screencastify up at any time, and it's just so helpful. So like I said, I just noticed that. So if we definitely need to get Laura to do that.
Yes.
And somebody had put on here
that would like to.
Yeah, anybody who wants to present, you have an idea, you're good at something, let us know. Because I know I need to work on Destiny. I used to be good at it, and then there was all these changes, and now I don't know anything. I haven't kept up.
I YouTube a lot.
Like I just haven't kept up, so I don't think I'm savvy at it anymore. So I would need to sit in. Just here's some more comments. Advocacy at both the state and local level, lesson plans collaboration, getting high school students in the library. Tiffany, you're high school, right? No.
Yeah, I'm 6 through 12.
That's right.
And today, I have to share this, even though it's totally random. Today was our first day of our Drop Everything and Read initiative. So my high school kids are very reluctant to read because they're just so super busy. And so we have built in 20 minutes every Thursday morning for our entire upper school to drop everything and read. And I got an email from one of the teachers of one of my boys, who's one of my advisees, who's a senior, and he was not enthused about this. But his teacher said after the 20 minutes, he was like, that really wasn't too bad. I kind of enjoyed it. And I'm like, I'll take it.
That's
I don't,
right.
yes, but little things, it's hard with high school. And something else that we noticed in the feedback is how we really need to make sure that we are offering professional development and opportunities for librarians in specific grade level bands to connect with each other. And so especially as we are planning our April in-person event, we're going to make sure that we really tailor things specifically to the different grade levels, to elementary, to middle, and to high school, because we know, I mean, I've been a school librarian in all of those grade level bands, and it's a totally different ball game in each and every one of them. So we hear that that's something that we need to work on. It's definitely a challenge, but I think things like our social media and posting our Wednesday wonderings, where we're soliciting ideas from other school librarians, we're trying to offer chances for you guys to connect and share, not just throwing out there what you're doing, but afterwards saying, oh, that was a really good idea from Amanda. I'm going to shoot her a message and see if I can talk to her a little bit more about that. Because finding those opportunities to talk with other school librarians who are working with the same age level as you is really, that's where we get our best ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the ideas I've ever gotten that were great, I got from other people. So I hardly come up with anything myself.
Well, I've stolen things from everybody on this screen. So yes.
Absolutely, me too.
We're just still putting some more things up here, networking. And Tiffany said, social media is a great way to comment and network and talk to each other. Let's see, we need more funding. We'll get there. I think right now our focus, and I don't know if y'all would disagree with me, but our focus right now is tends to be trying to bring us all together across the state. So our focus right now is bringing us all together across the state, getting information out there through newsletters, website, social media, as much PD as we can offer, but also we are talking with the Department of Education a lot to try. And I think eventually, once we solidify that a little more in a year or two, I think we will be to where we're able to tackle questions of funding and things like that at the state level. But it's going to take a lot more than the 6 of us on the executive board. So we're going to need a lot more members, and we're going to need a lot more active members if we want to see those goals accomplished. But I'm all for that. I wouldn't turn down any funding. So lessons and activities, these are just some other things people have talked about, some issues with COVID. Again, engaging high schoolers, high school. Several people commented high school, Tiffany. So
it's an issue.
I will facilitate a roundtable at our in-person conference for sure on that, because
that would be good to have roundtables
I love a roundtable. That will definitely be part of the schedule.
We tend to lose it. I'm like Tiffany. We have 7 to 12 at junior high. They are so enthusiastic, but we lose it when they hit those high school years, and it's sad that they get so bogged down and so busy.
And I noticed that I was on the ASL 21 committee, and that was an issue too with making sure high school was represented enough. Because there seemed to be tons of elementary and middle school sessions and things. And ASL 21, they did have a lot of good high school, but because they like consciously made sure that they did. So Tiffany and Tammy, y'all keep reminding us we got to have our high school. Pre-K, sometimes pre-K gets, I don't think about pre-K because I'm 5th and 6th grade. So maybe we can include more pre-K, a little lower level, things like that. How to become a certified school librarian. So for maybe teachers that are interested, that's a 5-minute tip right there. How to become a school librarian. I'm writing that down.
Absolutely, because I've had a few people ask me, "What did you do?"
I have lots of people. I have lots of teachers ask me what path.
they don't know where to start.
No.
You know, once they have their teaching certificate, they don't know where to start. So that is a good
Yeah.
5-minute tip, Amanda.
Yeah.
Really good.
So I like that. Integrating technology. So we are gonna. If you missed it, we just had a Canva webinar recently. That was pretty interesting by Melanie Lejeune. Thank you, Melanie, if you're watching. So we are going to be adding some technology. And I will say ISTE is going to be in New Orleans this coming year. And so that is a huge, if you've never been to an ISTE conference, it is all the technology that you could ever want to learn. And it's going to be right here in New Orleans this next summer. So look into that. It's a little expensive, but it's
yeah. But
I love that it's so close.
And it's so neat though to go to a place like that. I loved it. I went to the one in Chicago several years ago. I learned so much, so incredibly much.
And they usually have a librarian's playground. I know
Yes.
Tiffany and I presented in the librarian's playground before, and so I'm assuming they'll have one again. I'll be presenting on technology and school libraries. It's just gonna be a good time. So start thinking about ISTE too. So other things people put funding, again, it's a lot of similarities in the comments. Collaboration and networking, we're seeing that a lot. Some people said they're open to anything, any professional development and networking opportunities. Grant funding. So we did address that we are about to do a 5-minute tips on grant funding. And if we could do a larger one if that's something people are interested in.
That might be another session, a really good session to do at our Saturday event. In Baton Rouge, the big event that's coming up. That might be another really good session to dig into people that have. I know Amanda and I were talking about donors choose, and it is so easy to write, but it's just getting started. People getting started. So if you're, maybe that's something we could focus in on. One session on that.
That sounds like a good idea. Somebody had commented, let's see, not give it as much time because they're also 504 coordinator and be able to focus on how to build a vibrant library program. I will say I have a webinar out there. It's called Dear School Leaders. And I have another webinar called Embedded Librarians that are geared towards administrators. So if that is something you're interested in, this gets directed towards administrators and district supervisors. So if you ever need me to send you that link to that webinar, let me know. But we could redeliver and redo something like that again. I know I'm going to be submitting to present that at the Teacher Leader Summit again, because I really think it's important that we talk to our principals and district leaders because they often don't realize what all we do or what we need to be doing, but we can't because we're bogged down with other things.
That is something. Yeah, that is something that we've talked about with LADOE as well, because the trickle down effect, it always doesn't get there. So we've talked about and I think one of the literacy initiatives through LADOE, one of the bills that passed was the admin has to have some PD on the science of reading. And I think that's kind of where it's going to start is educating them and on, like you say, why it's important for librarians to do what they do and in their school, at their site. And not have all these other things that, I'll just give them that. I'll just give them that, bog them down with all these other things when they should be doing this very important work. And so that is something that we are addressing with LADOE. And I think the literacy initiative that LADOE is putting out and including librarians has really helped a lot, because I think the more that we do that and the more of these bills that we pass, advocating for people to understand why it's important to learn about reading and literacy and not just admin telling you what to do, then I think that'll help us too when we go to advocate and say, hey, I'm supposed to be doing, these kind of things, and you're giving me this other to bog me down. So, and you know what? Amanda has those webinars that she's done that she talked about. I send that stuff to I send that stuff to district leaders. I mean, you've got to be able to say, hey, you need to watch this. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. It kind of backs up, kind of gives you some clout on why you're saying the things that you're saying about why you don't necessarily need to be doing those other jobs. You need to be doing the job that you were hired for.
And the webinar I did called Dear School Leaders, Casey Boyd from DC and Courtney Pentland from Nebraska did the webinar with me. And I don't know if people know who Casey is. She's boss librarian. She's been very instrumental in they actually took away the school librarians in Washington, DC, and she was very instrumental in getting those librarian positions back. So she's one you definitely want to listen to as far as when you're looking for resources to give your administration or your district on things like that. Follow her on Twitter and look at some of her webinars, because she's really, really, really good at it.
Well, and it makes your claim valid too, to know that, it's not, you're not the only one trying to make some changes. This is everywhere across the country.
Yeah. Follow Christopher Stewart. He was a 2021 Library Journal Mover and Shaker in DC. Casey is a 2015 Library Journal Mover and Shaker, and they've both been working together in DC to really make some changes. So follow them on Twitter if you need some ideas to talk to your principal and admin about. And then again, all of these comments are pretty much things we've already talked about: high school, collection development, automation systems. So things like Destiny. And what else does Tiffany use? Destiny, huh? So I guess if people use something other than Destiny, we could do a webinar on whatever. I don't know. I don't know any other systems. So just let us know. we can figure it out. And again, it's a lot of the same, just worded differently. So you can look through the slide deck and you can see what people have been saying. Common responses, though. Tiffany, do you understand this graph? Did you do this, or is Levy? Did you make this?
Yes, I did that.
Okay.
So basically, when I did that, I just tallied up. I kind of categorized our most common responses, and so definitely first up on the list was curriculum and lesson planning ideas in different ways. Some were looking for specific lesson plans and ideas on activities to do with different grade levels. Others were talking more about the curriculum and standards and things like that. But all of that ties in together. So I think that's kind of one strand of what we were looking at. And then the next one, which was a very close runner-up, was networking, which is we get it. For us, just being on this board and meeting and talking together regularly, our group text is always live. But it's the networking. We need to talk to each other. And we all know that it's so isolating being in a school library. And so that's definitely something that people are super hungry for. And that's what we've really been trying to push with social media and with these webinars. And then with our in-person event, we want people to have a chance to network and find your people that you can text, your people that you can send messages and emails to and ask questions of. And then collection development was big. So that had a lot of areas as well, whether it was purchasing or inventory. But, that's a big topic, especially for looking at the number of new librarians that responded to this. That's a big one. It takes time to really get your head around not only evaluating your collection, but thinking about the direction you need to go in growing it. Then following that, we had professional development, which obviously we've been trying to do, and we know that everyone needs. And we also know that the professional development we get in our schools is not geared to us because it's just us. We are the librarian. And so for us to get the professional development we need, we have to seek it out. And so we've been trying to get those opportunities out in front of everyone. Advocacy is huge. And I think that I called it advocacy, but most people did not, because I after, this is year 14 for me. I get what advocacy is. It's really putting yourself out there and promoting the things that you're doing in your school library so that you can get the things that you need, whether it's planning time or the things that you need from your administrators. It goes into budgeting. All of that, it goes into play when you're talking about advocating for your position in your school, all the way up to the advocacy that Amanda and Lovey have been doing with the Department of Education that I know not a lot of people know about. And so there's so many layers to that, and we get that that's support that we need. And then, I mean, as you continue down the list, you'll see we had a lot of people asking for a lot of things: technology support, budgeting, which we saw pop up lots, reading culture and reading promotion, then those specific types of training. There were a couple of comments, which this is something that I would love to see in the future, about mentors and supporting new school librarians. Seeing that we have so many new school librarians, I think kind of coming up with a plan down the road for us to really have a way that we can partner veteran school librarians with new school librarians is a great role that our state organization can play. And so something that I hope that we can do. But yeah, I feel like looking at this list, I'm really proud of what we've accomplished so far this year. And I feel like we are on the right track for the things that are kind of slated for the rest of this year. But we would love to hear from all of you. So if you have ideas, please reach out to us. Also, be on the lookout, because we're about to start really digging in on planning for our in-person event. So looking for, the date that we have set is April 30th. It's a Saturday. It's the day that Garth Brooks is coming to Baton Rouge. But we're going to be earlier in the day, so you can still come and join us. It's going to be at my school, which I'm really excited to host. I have, not to brag, but I have a really beautiful campus and a gorgeous school library. And we actually have 2 school libraries on our campus. So I have my 7 through 12, and then my lower school librarian, which is pre-K 3 through 5. So it's really not just an opportunity for you to come in and do some professional development, but to get in and see someone else's space. And so I'm really excited to host that. I hope that we can check lots of those boxes from the things that folks have shared that they want to do, but most importantly, give a chance for networking. We're going to have good food, because that's what I'm all about. If anybody's ever been to any of my ed camps, it's all about what we're going to eat and about getting our people together and just having a good time talking about the things that we love.
And we'll have some door prizes.
Oh, yeah.
I put on the screen there's 3 different webinars. 2 different webinars, and then the save the date for April 30th. We do have this webinar. Where's my arrow? Dustin Hensley from Tennessee on January 19th. And Let's End Literacy Shaming on February 26th. We have our January newsletter on here. And again, we have our save the date. So stay tuned and be looking for different announcements about that, submitting proposals and what you want to see there. And we're going to take all these comments and consideration from this survey. Lovey, did you want to say anything?
No, I just want to thank everybody for, coming out and just, watching this and giving us feedback, because we really do want that. That's one of the greatest things I think that spurs me on, is when I get, when someone I sent out our newsletter to my district today, and I had immediately emails coming back. Thank you so much for sharing that. This is really, really nice to see come across my email. I really like reading all this. So, I think those are the things that excite me the most, is when we do have people that say, hey, thank you. This is really helping me, because that's what truly, that's what we're really about, is trying to connect everybody, not make anyone feel like they're the only person out there that's going through that. So I really appreciate that personally. When we hear feedback, any type of feedback, because that helps us to really, like Tiffany said, it really helps us to zone in on exactly what we need to look at to finish out this year. So thanks a lot.
Even feedback like, hey, Tiffany, you spelled January wrong.
I
Yeah,
didn't
I did have a
even
few
notice.
emails.
I didn't even notice. So, yeah.
Well, and continue to share the
Uh,
information with everybody, because there are still a few pockets that we really didn't hear responses from. So I don't know if they are just so rural or what, but I mean, even if it's a teacher friend, see if you can make that teacher connection to the librarian somehow, some way.
Because we have 300 school librarians on our email list, but there's probably 900 in our state. So if you know a school librarian, please share info and have them join our mailing list to get at least the newsletter or something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, send your questions and comments to our email, which is LASL, GE, how do you spell GE? I can't spell without writing it down.
GEAUX.
I have to write it down. GEAUXLSL@gmail.com, and you can email your questions, comments, concerns. And that is tonight's town hall. We will see you later. Thanks for joining us. Bye, everybody.
Bye.